So what is up, guys? You got your boy Stingren here today, and today we are here with some Monster Hunter Rise, and today we are here to do a little bit of a showcase of a end game bow build. This is for traditionally all bow types for rapid spread and pierce. You just have to fit the talismans accordingly to the monster that you're using in the bow and stuff like that. But this is generally like the exoskeleton I prefer when playing bow. It is a little bit of a high risk, high reward build because of one of the effects that happen within the bow build. So anyway, let's go and go to our blacksmith and let's go and show you guys the set. So this is what we're running so far. Now of course we're not at master rank 50 or 70, I believe, which is the cap currently. Master rank 70 should give you the final things that you need. I think master rank 50 gives you the quest for certain things to go to master rank 10 on the bow build. So that is something that we have to take into consideration here, which is why my Chameleon's bow is only rarity 9. But anyway, so first these are running the storage helm, the Archfiend armor Balo, which is from the final boss of Sunbreak. So that's what I said before, you have to make sure you're at least at master rank 30. We're at Ragnar Arm Guards X. We're at Core Coil. We're running Archfiend Armor Cereals, which again from the final boss, Demon Petulant, and your talisman is subject to whatever you can fit best for your build. Now this is the best I could get for mine. I've seen people have a Constitution 3 with a 221 before, which was actually insane. I don't know how they got something so beautiful, but I couldn't get it. So this is kind of what I had to run for mine. But anyway, for the build total, we have Constitution 5, Crit Boost 3, Weakness Exploit 3, Stamina Surge, Spread Up, which of course is subject to change depending on the bow that you use, Coalescence 3, Resentment 2, Reload Speed 2, Agitator, Bow Charge Plus, Steadiness, Dereliction, Bloodlust, and Chain Crit. So, a few new skills here, a few new things that have changed about this build significantly, but we're going to talk about everything in its effect. So first things first is our Constitution. Traditionally speaking, you don't have to have Constitution 5 for this build to work. You don't. You can actually go Constitution 4. And the reason why you can is because how the Dango system was changed. You can now eat for a level 4 boost of the respected type to give you your stamina reduction, which essentially equals to you having a Constitution 5. So that's why you don't have to go 4. I mean, you don't have to go 5. You can just go 4 and then maybe add something else, maybe add like another resentment so you can get a little 5 more attack boost. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing because I only really did Con 5 just to make sure I can consistently have my stamina depletion at max so I don't have to worry about anything. We're running our Critical Boost 3, which of course if we hit crits we get more damage, which is always really good for a bow build. We're running Weakness Exploit because we want more damage if we can hit the weak spots of enemies. We want Stamina Surge for more stamina recovery so we can get back into the fight very quickly. Now of course your Shot Type 3, which of course is going to be Spread, Pierce, or Normal Rapid. That's just generally what you're going to be fitting depending on the bow that you use. Now Coalescence is a new set that comes from the Sunbreak expansion. And basically what happens here is there's a little thing that happens whenever you are in battle. While you're in battle, your HP will suddenly drain. This is coming from a different part of the set, which is going to be our Dereliction and our Bloodlust as well. We're going to be draining our HP. Then when that wears off, Coalescence kicks into play, giving you another attack plus 18, another elemental effect up, and status build up plus 15%, which is not bad. Status build up is actually pretty good because it means you can actually poison something or you can set up a stun. Resentment of course is whenever you're whenever you have red HP. Whenever you have red remaining HP, is going to tie in with one of the sets that we're using. We get a little bit more attack. Reload speed because that gives us our automatic bow coating. Agitator, just whenever whenever an enemy's in rage, you get more attack. Bow charge, you already know why we need bow charge. If you're not familiar with bow, this is one of the most accessible things outside of Constitution and Stam Surge, I feel. Steadiness is not really important. It's just what came with the talisman. You don't need steadiness at all. But Dereliction is one of the new sets, one of the new skills in the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion. And what this does is, whenever you have a certain scroll type, which is a part of our switch skills, you get effects values. So whichever scroll you use determines what you get. Traditionally speaking, as a bow, you want to be in blue. Just be in blue. If you start off in red, just switch over to blue, go from there, then you just get your dereliction from there. Bloodlust, okay? While infected, attack and evasion increase, stamina use reduced, which stacks on top of our constitution, so that's really good. And on recovery, red vitality gauge is restored and infinity further increases. So what happens is Bloodlust is going to give you a frenzy status, right? Frenzy status, while something else that's going to be in this build is taking away from your HP. As you're losing your HP, this is from Dereliction, by the way, you're gonna just lose HP, and then all that red vitality that comes is gonna get healed, and then Coalescence then procs its effect, because that's just what's gonna happen. It looks like Coalescence is healing you. Like, I was a bit misunderstood when I first did this testing myself. I don't think I even fully still understand it myself, but traditionally speaking, the Bloodlust is what's going to give you the heal, and it's only going to heal your red vitality gauge. So if you get hit in between and you lose that little bit of HP there, then you won't heal that. Any HP bar that's at black, it won't heal there. So there's that. And then we're running Chain Crit, which is a pretty nice skill for bow, because you get more damage for hitting consecutive times. And with bow, it's super easy to hit consecutive amount of times. Like, dude, it's a bow. We're hitting things with multiple things, so that's why Chain Crit's really good. But this is kind of what you consider as a suicide build. It's a suicide build because of what happens with the build. Now we're gonna go over to the training area just to kind of show you guys what's going on. So as you can already see, look at our HP. It's steadily decreasing. This is something you just cannot stop. You're going to be always losing HP no matter what happens. You're always going to be losing your HP, and that's going to be a problem. So you see that little bar at the top right there? That is going to be what our Bloodlust is. So as you can see, what we're hitting right now is 122. Right, with just normal. Now we're gonna sit in here and wait for a while to see when Coalescence proc. Now it procs pretty much randomly. I believe the effect lasts for about 30 seconds of Coalescence with its boost, and then you can get the attack up. If we go test out power before the Coalescence proc happens, let's see. I didn't even time that right, but so yeah, getting some pretty nice numbers there. So we're gonna wait a while to see when Coalescence proc. One of the big things that I don't like too much about this set is, well, Coalescence procs are not very fast, and as squishy as you are, so there's the boost right there. But as squishy as you are, you run into a situation where you can get hit pretty hard. As you can see, we did go up a little bit of damage due to Coalescence proc, so there is that. For the most part, you are going to be hitting some pretty sustainable numbers with this build. Most of the time, depending on the monsters that you fight, you just go from there. You just go from there. As you can see, hitting 129s each. That's very, very, very good. Now, of course, we don't have max stamina. Of course, our stamina will be higher because we're eating food. We're maybe finding some spirit birds along the way. But that's traditionally how the build works. It's going to continuously take your HP away, and then when that proc happens, you get healed. And then when you get healed, then you just get a little bit more damage. The build really prioritizes you to kind of know the monster that you're fighting. You want to know it, because if you're not too familiar with monsters and how they operate, then you're gonna die a lot. No joke, you're gonna die a lot. And that's a thing that I've experienced with this build. To be honest, if you don't want to mess around with the whole suicide thing, I think you can take off the dereliction, because that means it will stop draining your HP. That's what really starts to drain itself, is that it's just gonna be taken away from your HP. So that's what really kind of takes the set off. I don't know what I could really fit as like an option for you, to be honest. I've tried messing around with a few other things with this build. I've tried messing around with a few things to see how it works, but for the most part I haven't really found anything. If you guys have seen anything that would at least work with the same build for its same effect, then you could just kind of add it in the video. Maybe I'll give it a test run and I'll see how I feel about it. But for the most part, this is how the set works for me. I just go in and I start popping things just like this, and then I just start going off. You know, I hit my shots. As you can see, those hit really well. You're 164, which is really good, especially on a staggered boss. Like, that's really good. So, but that's traditionally what happens. Is you can see literally everything gets buffed. Everything on you is buffed without you having to use a single item. Everything on you is buffed. So every single time you get into a quest, all those little things that's happening at the top that's flashing, that's gonna be you. That's gonna be you. Just flashing with a bunch of whole lot of power. But as you can see, this set will literally drain you to 1 HP. You just have to hope that Coalescence procs, and then you can get your HP back and then start the cycle all over again. Again, it's a very high risk, high reward build. That's the biggest problem with the build itself, is that it's very high risk, high reward. So you can run into a situation where you can get into some trouble. As you can see, we're back healed and now we're all good to go again. But it's very much high risk, high reward. I do recommend just taking any heals that you can take, so that way you don't run into any sort of problem later on in the fight and stuff like that. But that is going to be our build for you guys here today. So that's kind of just a general like demonstration of how it should work. Have fun messing around with it in the master rank. I have been running this build quite a bit with whatever bow that I really need to. Another excellent bonus with this set too is you really don't need element. You really don't need on element for extra power. The reason why is because the bow really just fits up everything so like, I mean, the build fits up everything so nicely. But there are certain builds that you can use that will get you a bonus for an element. For example, one of the bows that I've been messing around with for Fire Pierce is actually Rana Kadaki's bow. I'm gonna go over to my equipment really quick and kind of give you guys a look at it. This is the Rana Kadaki bow right here. Now, the one really cool thing about Rana Kadaki bow is that it's a 2-1-1, which means I can actually add more element here. I can add a blaze jewel, because the only thing I really need in my main bow slot is that last quick load. That's all I need. Since I have a 2-1-1, I can add a blaze 2 and a blaze 1, which will give me fire attack 3, which will and then turn out to more damage. But other bows like the Michitsune bow, which is what I'm using for my water rapid, only has a 1 slot, and the Lunagaran only has like a 2 level 1s. The Gorma Kalabo only has a level 1. Most of these bows that I've been messing around with so far are only giving me the level 1s, so that's why I only just go to quick load and then whatever anti-species I'm fighting with the bow type that I want to use. But that's generally just that. But the Rana Kadaki one actually got pretty good, because it's a 2-1-1. You can add a fire attack 3 in the build, and then it just makes it a little bit more sustainable. As you can see, there's fire attack 3. We don't need that constitution, as I said before, but that's just a little extra damage for the bow. And then we just throw in our reload speed, and we're right back to where we were started at. I mean, that's just a thing. That's just a thing. But anyway, that is going to be the build for you guys here today, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.